are talking immigration now, and according to a new poll by ABC News, 57% of Americans support a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants. It's an issue that may be high on the agenda for the newly re-elected president and the 113th Congress. Now, to discuss immigration policies is Remzi Kulen. He's an immigration attorney, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, given the immigration issue right now, and we're seeing quite a bit of this, but especially with the election, we saw so many Hispanics voting. This has become a real issue.
It was an issue. It was a promise of Barack Obama in his first election, but I think he used his credit to pass the health care in the first time around. Now, the second time around, the Hispanics really supported him again. About 75% of the Hispanic vote went to Obama. So now he made it a priority in his agenda to pass this legal citizenship for illegal workers or illegal immigrants in the U.S.
Probably have to do the fiscal cliff first and then work on this probably in January. But let's talk about where most of the immigrants come from.
Most of the illegal immigrants come from Latin American countries. If you look at the recent statistics for DACA applicants, which is young illegal immigrants, Obama provided them an executive order where they can get work authorization and where they can have a system where they're not going to be deported for 2 years. That's called DACA. And when we look at the 300,000 applications received within 3 months, almost 2/3 of them were received from nationals of Mexican citizens.
Wow.
So that shows you that, and the other countries coming behind are all from Latin America.
But it's really amazing when you think about just 300,000 in 3 months. So how many more do you think that we may see?
I don't think it's going to be more, because by December we see the numbers falling down by 50%. Because these were people waiting, illegal young immigrants waiting to file their applications, and in the first 2 months, it's always the case with immigration, it's a huge number of applications, and from now on it's going to be much lower, because there's a lot of requirements for filing that application. But with the new announcement providing a path to citizenship for these illegal immigrants, this is not just going to be for the young people, but it's going to be for the whole illegal immigrant community, including adults who are over 30 years old.
Well, let's talk about this path to citizenship. I know one of the criteria is that you had to stay in school and stay out of trouble.
Right.
But for some folks that we did a story not too long ago about a 7-year-old, a gentleman who is now 24, but was 7 years old when he came to this country. So he's basically been raised here in the U.S. He's been told to pack up.
Well, the DACA we're talking about has a lot of requirements, which I went through in one of the previous programs, and you have to meet all the criteria. In other words, if you cannot meet one of the criteria, then your application might be denied. We see that 300,000 applications were filed, and I'm looking at the statistics, and I see that 10,000 were rejected right out. So it seems to me that those 10,000 applications, we don't know why they were rejected, but they were probably not satisfying the criteria. We don't even know how many were denied, so we don't have a statistic on that one. But the important thing is to know that in those applications there are certain criteria to meet.
There's obviously a lot of benefits to becoming a U.S. citizen for both the United States and for the illegal immigrants. So let's first talk about the illegal immigrants.
Right. Well, becoming a U.S. citizen, of course, the most important thing is they're going to be coming out of shadows. Some of these people are already paying taxes, but they cannot have driver's license, they cannot have Social Security, they don't have insurance, they cannot travel to their country, they cannot see their family members abroad. So all of these are going to be hopefully away. But there are certain requirements, prerequisites, I would say, in Obama's announcement. He said he's mainly interested in giving this citizenship to people who are here simply to work. They're not going to have any criminal background. They're going to pay back taxes. They're going to pay a fine. They're going to learn English. And there is going to be strict border measures in order to prevent future illegal coming to the U.S. And also there is going to be tough measures for companies hiring illegal workers. So on those prerequisites, a bill is going to be shaped, and we will see what happens. But obviously, the biggest, of course, advantage is going to be to the illegal community. But also, it's a big economic advantage for the American community as well, because there's going to be a lot of back taxes and fines.
I got to tell you, I didn't realize there were so many back taxes and fines, so it's certainly very, very interesting. Remzi Kulen, we thank you for joining us. We hope you come back.
Thank you so much.
All right.